So I have in front of me two guitars. This one is worth maybe, if I try to sell it today, maybe about 200 Singapore dollars, 150 US. This one, if you try to get one today, if you wanted to buy it, if you wanted to spec it, is about $20,000 Singapore, maybe $15,000 US. So there's a 100x difference between these two guitars. Yet, why is it that I say that if it came down to it, if I really had to choose one of these two guitars, I would choose this one, the $200 one. That's what I'm going to tell you in today's video. So hi everyone, welcome back to the Ministry of Guitar. I'm Utkarsh, coming to you from Singapore. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please do like, subscribe and share. It helps fuel the algorithm and helps encourage me to make these videos. Let me tell you a little bit more about the two guitars I showed you in the beginning. Exhibit A to my right. This is a 2004 Epiphone Les Paul standard. This is my first guitar. It's an ordinary Les Paul standard. The only things that have been done to it, other than all this wear and tear and cracks and the broken headstock which was repaired, the only modification that's been made to it is that I tried to swap the pickups out myself. And this has a bare knuckle PG Blues, that's the Gary Moore pickup. I did buy both pickups, but the problem was that the neck pickup's lead wire wasn't long enough. So I had to give up on it despite my best efforts, so it only has a bridge pickup for now. Rest of the guitar is as stock as they come. And the guitar has been with me since 2005, so 19 years, almost 20 at this point. This guitar has been entitled The Gas Killer. Not entitled, but that's what was a subject of a recent video of mine. I have been going back and forth, buying, selling multiple guitars over the last 10 years. And over the last 6 months, I have inexplicably stopped. And it's because of this guitar, because I have kind of found perfection with this guitar. It's got everything that I like, which in summary is it's like a Les Paul, but it has a tremolo. It's a PRS, so quality is impeccable. Everything, and the color is of course amazing, at least to my eyes. So those are the two guitars. Now let's get into the topic of this video and let's think about what this tells us. Why would it be that if I could choose the very best of a particular segment or a particular kind of product, why would I not choose that? And the PRS Private Stock, have no doubt, is the very best. It is the Rolls Royce of guitars, so to speak. Why would I choose a crappy old beater? A cheap guitar. This was not even $500 US when it was new. Why would I choose that? There is a sentimental value, of course. It is my first guitar. But think about it. Sentimental value is not sufficient to make sometimes decisions. Think about if you had to choose a car. You could keep one car for the rest of your life. I don't think you would choose your first car. By now, it would probably be horribly outdated, horribly fuel inefficient, horribly unreliable, even if you had an amazing attachment to it. Yet when it comes to guitars, it is the nature of the thing that allows me to even contemplate a choice like this. Because functionally speaking, one guitar is not that different from another guitar. You will still be able to create music. You may need to change the frets on that guitar. I should just pick it up since I'm talking about it. So if I wanted to have something like this, do everything that my PRS could do, I could probably have a nice fret job done, get good pickups. If I really need a tremolo, I could put a Floyd Rose in it. And, and maybe do some fancy stuff to the electronics, coil splits or whatever. And that's it. Functionally, I would have something that is very similar to that. I mean, nothing can compare to the craftsmanship of the PRS Private Stock, but I would have functionally something that is very similar. So it's strange, is it not, that, as guitarists, we are kind of lucky because the pinnacle of our segment, of our category, as well as the ordinary of our category, are not that far apart functionally. So it comes to the consequence of that is that you could pretty much get away with any guitar. Again, going back to cars, I keep using cars, but if I had an unreliable older car which was not fuel efficient, even though I loved it, it would negatively impact my life. I would be late for work, or it would cost me a bomb in fuel bills and maintenance. Guitars don't cost anything to run. Maybe some electricity, but who knows how much that, nothing, practically speaking. They're relatively easy to maintain. So this is the kind of segment where I can actually keep this a relatively cheaper functional guitar and not miss out on anything. It's a pleasure to own that PRS Private Stock and the other 80 guitars behind me. But functionally speaking, I could 100% get away with this. And I was reflecting on this particular thing since the abatement of gas over the last few months, because I kind of found something I liked. And I've talked about this in my previous video. Having found things, gas was often a compensation for a different kind of void, which is being too busy to do what I like. So, and consequently having disposable income. Now that I do not have that, gas has gone away. And then it makes me reflect on my collection. I've talked about the financial reasons why I don't want to sell the collection as of right now. But it also gives me some level of comfort to know that if really push came to shove, maybe for financial reasons, maybe for other reasons, it could be anything can happen in life, right? So if you think about, something always strikes me. It's I don't know if you guys have, you have obviously seen the movie Schindler's List. And I remember that in that there is a businessman in, I think it's in Germany, of course. It's a Jewish businessman. And suddenly they're asked to come out of their house. And the guy is super rich, clearly. He's got so much stuff and he has to move out with nothing. Right, so you don't know when anything can happen to you. So the point is that if I really had to run for my life with one guitar as an example, even though I had so many all of these guitars, I honestly think that just being back to this guitar, functionally wise, I would be okay. And and yes, because this is the only guitar really out of this entire collection that is truly a part of me, having been with me for 20 years, I would not feel sad, honestly. I would be perfectly fine. And it strikes me that guitars are probably one of the only segments of products or things where you could have a situation like this, where there is no compromise in having something cheaper, something older. In fact, sometimes older is better. It becomes a part of you. And though you may enjoy yourself with all of this bells and whistles and all of the things that gas and collectors and everything that we do, if push comes to shove, just one guitar, a guitar that you really love, regardless of how functional it is to begin with, you can make it do whatever you want it to do, and you will not be worse off. The point of me making this video is that often you need to make it to the top of the mountain to see what you want. I have not made it to the top of the mountain in many different things. I certainly don't own my dream house. I certainly don't own my dream car. I certainly, the pinnacles of luxury that I can never get to with my means. But in the guitar world, for whatever reason, through luck or through whatever, I have gotten there. And looking at the top of the mountain where I could literally buy or own any guitar that I want. And I know you guys will say, what about vintage Les Pauls and Bursts and all of that? And I can't afford those. Sure, fair enough. But it's not been something that's ever appealed to me. So for my practical purposes, I can buy any guitar that I ever want. Any new guitar. With that in mind, it is really puzzling that I would say that if I had to choose one guitar, it would be the cheap guitar that I began with. And it can be justified rationally, as I talked about. Functionally, it can do everything. It can be more than justified emotionally. And I found that very, very strange. So what I want to say is, for a lot of us out there who are always lusting after that next new thing, or feeling a little bit bad, I wish I could afford, say, a Cord PRS, or I wish I could afford a Fender Custom Shop, or I wish I could afford whatever. It's good to have that desire and want, but know that you are not really missing out on as much as you may think you're missing out on. It should certainly not be a source of strife in your life. It should be something that, it's a great thing. It's something I want to experience. Maybe it'll happen one day. I'll keep working. I'll keep doing what I can do. But I should take no strife from the fact that I can't afford something right now, or I can't have it right now. Especially when it comes to guitars, your own cheap, affordable guitar with a good setup, with the right set of pickups, with everything that you want set up to your taste, you will be 99% of the way there. In fact, I would say you would be 100% of the way there, because no new toy that you can buy can give you the emotional attachment of an instrument that you've owned for 20 years. An instrument that you learn to make a G chord or a D chord. instrument that you first learned the Sweet Child of Mine intro, which felt so difficult to begin with. I'm giving some examples here. That bond you will not get with any expensive thing that you buy. So, all right, I don't really know the point of this video. My videos are usually much more structured and objective, but I did think it was an interesting reflection that I wanted to share with you folks. And I would love to hear what you have to think about, what you think about what I shared. All right, till next time. I forgot to mention, I'm just throwing in a couple of videos of playing the guitars back to back, so you can get a sense of how different they sound. I'm just playing the bridge pickup since the Epiphone doesn't have a neck pickup. Check it out.